Hello guys, welcome back to mathematics. Today we are going to learn how to multiply and divide whole numbers and decimal numbers by 10, 100, and 1000. Let's gonna start with the easiest part, multiply whole numbers. Okay? Let's take these two and multiply it by 10. When we multiply a number by 10, then that means we are going to do the number 10 times bigger. And remember with the place value that one digit is 10 times bigger than the previous digit in the place value. So that means that this 2 that is in the position of the ones is going to be 10 times bigger. So the result is going to have the 2 in the position of the tens. But if I leave it alone, it's not going to be in the position of the tens. We need to put something in the position of the ones. And in order to complete, we are just going to put a 0. So notice that it's like doing an upgrade for the digit 2. It's like an upgrade that we make to the 2. You are not going to be a 1 anymore. You are going to be a 10 now because we multiply it by 10. And at the end, we can see it just like 2 times 10. We leave the number itself and we add as many zeros as the multiplication has. So we leave the 2 and we add 1 0. In this case, 34 times 10. We leave the same 34 and we add 1 0, 340. So the 3, it was a 10 before, it becomes 100. The 4 was a 1, it becomes a 10. That's the upgrade that you do when you multiply, the number gets bigger. But what happens when it's not 10 but 100? Well, it's pretty similar. It's a double upgrade. So we are just going to put 2 more zeros. Then the 2 was before in the position of the tens, then it goes to the thousands. And the one that it was in the position of the ones, it goes 2 places to the position of the hundreds. That's what we are going to do. Move the digits in positions of the place value and then complete with zeros. When we multiply by 1000, then that means we need to add 3 zeros. So we write again the number, the same number, and we add as many zeros as the number of multiplication has. So 921 thousands. Remember, the comma for thousands is optional. You can just write it like 121 thousands like this, or sometimes you can also see it like with a little space, 921 thousands, and that's also correct. Okay, let's see what happens when we want to divide. Then, if multiplication was an upgrade, well, division is actually a downgrade. So it's going to become smaller because, of course, we are dividing the number. So the number has to get smaller. So if multiplying, we add a 0, dividing, which is the opposite operation, we take away zeros. So in this case, it was 2,100 is going to be 210. So the 2 that was before in the position of the thousands, it's a downgraded to the position of the hundreds. And the one that was in the position of the hundreds now is in the position of the tens. When it's 100 or 1000, we do the same. We take as many zeros as we have in the power of 10, in the 10, 100, or 1000. We have 2 zeros, 1 and 2 zeros, so we take away 1 and 2 zeros. We have just 3. And that makes sense because 3 times 100 is 300. Okay, in the next one, 2 zeros we have in the division, 2 zeros that we take away, 27. And finally, we divide by 1000, 3 zeros, so we take away 3 zeros, 92. Okay, that's it. A little later, you are going to see what happens when we don't have zeros to take away. We are going to have to use decimals. Now let's see what happens if the number is already a decimal and we multiply it by 10, 100, or 1000. So again, 2.3. 3 in this case is in the position of the tenths, and this 2 is in the position of the ones. If the 2 is upgraded, it's going to go to the position of the tenths, and the tenths upgraded has to go to the ones. So 2 from ones to tens, and 3 for tenths to ones. That means it's not going to be a decimal anymore, because the point is going to be here, but it's 0 after the decimal point. That's the same thing as saying just 23. Okay, so basically what we are going to do when multiplying, we're going to move the decimal point as many places as zeros we have. This is 10 is just one place, so we move the decimal point. Notice how it's the same to move the decimal point than just upgrading the place value of the numbers. So we move it there, so it's going to be at the end. No need to write it there. Okay? In this one, if we move the decimal point one place, then we are going to get the 34.5. If you have doubts, you can always check what happened with the place value. Let's check the 3. 3 was in the position of the ones, and then it's in the position of the tens. It's upgraded by 10. Yes, one place, excellent. One place. Let's check this one. 21.224. In this case, we have two zeros. We are multiplying by 100. That means we move it two places. So it's going to become 2122.4. Two zeros, two decimal places. Again, let's check one number. Let's check the 2. The 2 was a 10 before. It was in the position of the tens. And it becomes in the position of the thousands. It was upgraded two places. So, excellent. It's correct. And finally, 3 zeros. So we need to move the decimal point 3 spaces. Let's write the number so it's going to become clear, because we don't have so many numbers to move the decimal point, right? It was at the beginning, it was here, the decimal point. Let's move it one place, two places, and 3 places. But since there's nothing here, how are we going to move it? Well, we just fill up with zeros, and then the decimal point come at the end. Notice that again, we don't need, since we don't have any digit in the decimals, we don't have to write it. So just 921,300. Again, you can write it with comma for thousands. 921,300. Let's see the what I think is the hardest one. This is also pretty easy once you dominate, but at the beginning it's a little confusing. Division. We need to downgrade the number. So in order to downgrade, we move the decimal point, but to the left. To the left. So let's see. 21.3. The point was here. 1.3. We move it one place to the left. So we get the 2.13. Let's check what happened with the 2. The 2 was in the position of the tens, and now it's in the position of the ones. It becomes 10 times smaller. Excellent. It's correct. One place. Again, there's just one zero, but we don't have any decimal point. So what should we do here? Well, remember when we don't have decimal point, it's like having it at the end. So this decimal point is like here at the end of the number. So when we move it, it's going to be here, 2.5. Again, you can check. Let's check the 5. It was in the position of the ones. And now it's in the position of the tenths. It becomes 10 times smaller. We were dividing by 10, so yes, it is correct. Something similar happened with this, the 345. The point was here at the end, and then we should move it ones to the left. So 34.5. Nice. In this case, let's see, the 81, the point was here, point 24. We need to move it two places. But then the number looks weird, 0.8124. Then you can fill it also with a 0. Because you are saying there's no holes, and then this is the decimal part. 0.8124. Okay? And something similar happens with this one. The point was here in between one, two, three places. Then we need to fill up with zeros. So let's check again. Let's check the 8. The 8 is in the position of the ones. Here's the position of the tenths, hundredths, thousands. Thousands. So it was one, two, three places smaller. 3 zeros in the divisor. So yes, it's perfect. Okay, guys, hope this helped for you to understand. It's time for the practice. So I propose these exercises here, guys. Try to solve them with the same process that I used. Pause the video and then you can check the results. Okay, let's see. Multiplication, we move the decimal point to the right. So this is going to be 752. The decimal point is going to be at the end, so there's no need to write it. Division, we have a 0, so we just take it away. 34. Multiplication by 10, we don't have any decimal point, so we just have to add a 0. Division by 100, moving the decimal point two places. So it's going to become 0.7632. And we just fill with a 0, so it doesn't look weird. And multiplication by 1000, and we have a decimal point. We need to move it three places. 1, 2, 3. So that means we need two zeros here, and notice this 0 at the end, and the point is not necessary, so we can just erase it. And finally, 92 divided by 10. There's no zeros to take away, but we have the point that is virtually here at the end, so we move it to the left. Always check that the operation makes sense. It means when you divide, the number gets smaller, and when you multiply, the number gets bigger. Because sometimes it's easy to forget when you try to memorize. If I divide, I move to the left, and when multiply, I move to the right. Oh, it was the opposite. Now then, don't try to memorize it, but think about it. Like, if I divide, and I get, for example, 92 divided by 10, and you mess up and say 920, then check your result. Is it logic that if I divide the number 92 in 10 parts and I get even a bigger number, there's something weird with that? Then check that your results make sense. Okay, guys, that was all for this video. Please don't forget to subscribe, put your lessons if you want, and please let me any question that you have in the comment box about this video, about any other topic. Bye bye, guys. See you next time.